toward more beneficial and equitable outcomes. It's this human dimension of science fiction movies that I'm particularly interested in. What these movies do rather well is provide us with a glimpse around the corner of our collective near future to help us see what might be coming down the pike and start thinking how we might respond to it. And they manage to do this because their scriptwriters and directors aren't encumbered by the need to stick to today's reality. Viewed in the right way, and with a good dose of critical thinking, science fiction movies can help us think about and prepare for the social consequences of technologies we don't yet have, but that are coming faster than we imagine. This is precisely what this book sets out to do. Using the 12 movies it's built around, the book provides glimpses into the technological capabilities we're building now, and how we might start to think about their beneficial and responsible development and use. Naturally, it only scratches the surface of the vast array of technologies that are beginning to emerge, and the opportunities and challenges they present. But through the lens of these movies, the book sets out on a journey to explore what can go wrong with new technologies, and how we can all help nudge them toward a future that looks better than the present we're currently in. And it continues that personal journey I started in 1982 with that first, barely conscious glimpse into how science fiction movies can reveal hidden connections between who we are, the society we live in, and the technologies we create. Welcome to the future. Google top science fiction movies, and you'll probably be overwhelmed by a deluge of top 100 lists, best ever compilations, and page upon page of the last word, supposedly, on must-watch movies. People are passionate about their science fiction movies, and they have strong opinions about what should be on everyone's watch list and what should not. Some of the movies in this book appear regularly on these lists. Jurassic Park, Chapter 2, and Minority Report, Chapter 4, for instance. Some are hidden gems that only the most dedicated fans cherish, including films like The Man in the White Suit, Chapter 10, and the anime movie Ghost in the Shell, Chapter 7. Others are likely to raise eyebrows, and I suspect there'll be a few movie buffs wondering why the collection includes films like Transcendence, Chapter 9, and Inferno, Chapter 11. This is a fair question. After all, why write a book about science fiction movies that aren't listed as being amongst the best there are? The answer is that this is not a book about great science fiction movies, but a book about how science fiction movies can inspire us to see the world around us and in front of us differently. Each of the movies here has been selected because it provides a jumping-off point for exploring new and intriguing technological capabilities and the challenges and opportunities these raise. Some of the resulting stories are life-affirming and heartwarming, while others are deeply disturbing. Individually, they provide fascinating accounts of the sometimes weird and complex landscape around emerging technologies. Together, though, they paint a much broader picture of how our technological world is changing and what this might mean to us and the generations that come after us. The movies themselves were selected after many hours of watching and soul-searching. There are some quite wonderful science fiction movies that didn't make the cut because they didn't fit the overarching narrative. Blade Runner and its sequel Blade Runner 2049, for instance, and the first of the Matrix trilogy. There are also movies that bombed with the critics, but were included because they ably fill a gap in the bigger story around emerging and converging technologies. Ultimately, the movies that made the cut were chosen because, together, they create an overarching narrative around emerging trends in biotechnologies, cybertechnologies, and materials-based technologies, and they illuminate a broader landscape around our evolving relationship with science and technology. And to be honest, they are all movies that I get a kick out of watching. In pulling these movies together and writing the book, I wanted to explore the often complex relationship we have with emerging technologies. But I also wanted to highlight some of the amazing advances we see beginning to emerge in science and technology. We truly do live in incredible times. Scientists are learning how to write and rewrite genetic code with increasing precision and efficiency. Nanotechnologists are designing and engineering materials that far exceed the properties of anything that occurs in nature. We are already creating artificial intelligence systems that can operate faster and smarter than any human. There are self-driving cars on our roads, with autonomous, people-carrying drones just around the corner.